The last step in this tutorial is to create a form using the form wizard. So we have a customer table and an orders table. These tables already have relationships set up in a one-to-many relationship. These tables are a little bit different than what we had built in the first tutorial, but they have similar characteristics in that one-to-many relationship. So the point is you can do this with any of these. So we'll close the relationships table. No need to save those, the format, the changes there. I was just expanding those so you could see the fields. So now if we go over to Create, the Create tab, some more forms, and the Form Wizard. Now we've got a couple of different tables here in the drop down. So in the drop down, we'll select the customer table first. We'll select all the fields from there. But in order to make a clean form, I'm going to get rid of ID. So that's gone now. And then in the drop down again, I select the details or the child table, and that's the orders table. And I'll select all of those once again. Save some keystrokes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the ID and the customer ID. Make sure that those are gone. And so all these other fields are going to show up on the form that we create. Now I get a choice of linking forms or using subforms. In this case, I'm just going to use a form that has subforms so that we can have the subform being the detail records of that child table. So I have a couple of choices. I could have it tabular or more datasheet looking like. I'm going to choose the datasheet option. And then one of the things you want to consider is that you want to have, especially if you're having a client that's going to do a lot of entry, you want to have the background color fairly dark, which reduces eye stress. It's a there's fields in psychology where they show how the eyes perceive different colors and how different colors create more fatigue. So you want to go with a darker color. So in this case, I went almost all the way down to the Technic color. It's a darker color. And then I can choose to rename these fields, the customer and the order subform. I'll just leave them like that. And I'll open the form to view the information. So I'll click Finish. I can go back and modify things later on. So a couple of things you'll notice right now, we have the header information, and then we've got all of our field names in here. So these need to be cleaned up a little bit, so we need to go to the View and the Design View, and we can change some of the things here. So zip and state are fine. Address needs to be stretched out a little bit. So selecting that, and the label and the data table tend to be combined together in groups. So I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit because I have enough screen real estate to allow for the entire field name to be shown. So what you can do is work with this a little bit in order to stretch these out. So, and if you have to, you can right click and go in to some of the different options to find out how to link or unlink some of these labels with their fields. So we're gonna try stretching some of these stretch across the bottom right. And so that allowed the address field, address to field, to be stretched out. Now I'm going to move this over a little bit. Looks like I went a little bit wide on this. It's off the screen, so I'm going to move that back a little bit. If it's on a really wide screen, like a lot of the desktop screens are, it won't be too bad. But for laptops, you might have to have the screen size a little bit smaller. So now I'm sliding those over, still keeping them on the screen. Then I can do the same thing for this group, so I can widen the fields here. So once again, right click, then I'm going to stretch across the bottom. So it's going to stretch both the or give me the chance to be able to stretch out the labels as well as the text boxes themselves. So these white things are called the text boxes, and then the thing that says Cuss Last Cuss First, those are all the labels for the text boxes. Now I like to have these all similar. I like to have them in bold, and I like these to have the property name for the caption. So we can change these just by clicking in this label field and just saying and you can continue to do that and make this a better looking entry form. And then it's always a good idea to save. So what I would like you to do is continue to work with your parent-child tables in the form and come up with a presentable form that I can review.